The objective is 6.13a. Interpret numerical data summarized in dot plots, stem and leaf plots, histograms, and box plots. In 5th grade, students solved 1 and 2 step problems with everything except histograms, which is 5.9c. In 6th grade, students are interpreting the data and histograms are introduced. In 7th grade, students are comparing two groups of numerical data. Today we're going to work on interpreting numerical data from graphs. You've done this before in 5th grade. The only difference that we're going to have is in 6th grade we work with histograms also. And before we get started on the STAR questions, we're going to go over what a histogram actually is. So first, let's go with the definition. A histogram is a type of bar graph whose bars represent the frequencies of numerical data within intervals. I know the definition of a histogram was kind of confusing, but let's make one and it'll give you a better understanding of exactly what a histogram consists of. So let's look at this problem. Ed counted the number of seats available in each cafe in his town. Complete the frequency table and the histogram. So the first thing we need to do before we actually graph on the histogram is to fill out the frequency table. So if you look here, we have intervals of 7, 1 to 7, 8 to 14, 15 to 21, 22 to 28. And so we have to look here at our information at the top here to see the frequency, how many times it happened. So 1 through 7, including 1 and 7, how many times did he see 1 through 7 seats? Well, I only see the number 7 here, so that means this only happened once. And then we're looking for numbers 8, including 8, through 14. And we have 3 numbers here. We have 8, 10, and 12, which gives me 3 for the frequency. And then 15 through 21. We have 16, 18, 18, and 20. So that was 16, 18, 18, 20, which gives us 4 for the frequency. And then the last one, 23 to 28, we only have 22 and 26, which gives it the frequency, which makes the frequency 2. So now we can graph our frequencies on the histogram. So if we look here, 1 through 7 only happened once. 8 through 14 was 3 times. So we're going to go up to 3. 15 through 21 was 4 times. And 22 through 28 was only twice. And that's how you make a histogram. Okay, now let's look at a histogram in a word problem. The histogram below represents the high temperature in November last year in Iowa. How many days last year in November was the temperature higher than 35 degrees in this city? So we're looking for something that's going to be higher than 35. That means it has to be greater than 35. And that means I cannot include, I know that this graph is less than 35, and then 31 through 35, that's including 35, but it says higher. So this one, we will not look at that one either. We're going to look at 36 through 40 and 44 through 45. So if we look at 36 through 40, we have 8, and then here we have 5. And 8 plus 5 is 13, which is our answer. 13 days. Okay, now that we created a histogram and looked at a question or word problem with histogram, let's discuss the question below with your group. You will have 30 seconds to discuss and answer the sentence stem. How is a histogram different than a bar graph? Here's your sentence stem. A histogram is different than a bar graph because, okay, your 30 seconds starts now. Okay, time's up. I'm gonna roll my die and group 6. What is your answer? Okay, very good. Here's the answer I came up with. A histogram is different than a bar graph because the categorical data is grouped into intervals. Okay, let's practice another problem together. The stem and leaf plot shows the number of text messages Hal received each day for 2 weeks. What is the difference between the median and the mode of the data? Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to think about the important information out of that problem, what you need in order to answer the question. Okay, Sally, I pulled your popsicle stick. What is some important information in that problem? Yes, that's correct. We're looking for the median, the mode, and then we have to find a difference between those two. Very good. So the good thing about stem and leaf is that in order to find a median, we know that we have to list it in order from least to greatest, but stem and leaf is already listed in order from least to greatest. So we can mark out the first and last until we get to the middle. And I would like, as always, to count to see how many numbers I have so I know how many I'm supposed to have in the middle. So if we look here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're going to have 2 numbers in the middle. So we mark first and last. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the back, and then 6 and 6. So we have 30 and 32. Add those together. 62. And we're going to take that and divide it by 2. Which is going to give me 31. And if you're going to find the average, when you have numbers that have 1 missing in between, 30, you can automatically look at it and be able to tell that 31 is going to be the median. So our median is 31. And now we have to look for the mode. And looking at the stem and leaf plot, the mode is 24. So we're looking for the difference. We know we have to subtract. I'm going to regroup here. 11 minus 4 is 7. And that answer choice is there. It is C. There are so many ways that this T can be questioned. Make sure your students are solving dot plots, stem and leaf plots, histograms, and box plots that require them to look at the numerical data in order to answer the question. They just need to practice all types of different problems, and before you would give them the exit ticket. Here, this slide and the next slide are about 4 questions that I would use for an exit ticket to see what the students know, what they do not know, and also to pull a small group. You can use this again in Schoology, or if you want to print it out, whatever method works best for you. But I will give them a variety of questions for the exit ticket so I can see what type of questions they understand and which ones they do not.